Massive Attack's third full-length, 1998's Mezzanine, was a noise-laden reinvention for the Bristol trip-hop pioneers. An exhilarating fusion of sample-based electronic music, reggae, and alienated post-punk minimalism. Working closely with producer Neil Davidge, the group moved away from the idling soul, reggae, and hip-hop of their first two albums, incorporating buzzing guitars, slow-motion beats, and sleazy vibes. Initially confounding some of the band's earlier fans with its pitch-black mixture of rock music samples, distorted guitars, and live drums, the album achieved almost instant mainstream ubiquity in the UK. Rising Sun was the public's first introduction to the alien world that Massive Attack were constructing. Released as a single 9 months before the album itself, the subsequent gap speaks to the band's fevered perfectionism and Mezzanine's torturous recording process. A perfect bridge between their earlier work and the darkness of Mezzanine, Rising Sun combines a lumbering dub bass line and murky breakbeat with a well-judged sample from the Velvet Underground, all clouded in a nebulous world of reverb. There's even a brief hip-hop scratch, a sound scarcely heard on Mezzanine, evidence of the waning influence of Massive Attack founding member Mushroom, aka Andrew Voles, who would leave the band shortly after Mezzanine's release. But it was Teardrop, an atypically beautiful Mezzanine moment that became an unlikely pop standard. Known by casual music fans as either the opening theme to House MD or for its video starring a singing fetus, it is one of 3 songs on Mezzanine to feature the vocals of former Cocteau twin Elizabeth Fraser, here singing atop a simple harpsichord riff.
Love is a verb, love is a doing word, fearless on my brain.
Fraser's astounding, swooping vocal was inspired by Jeff Buckley, a close friend who died while she was recording Teardrop. Subsequently covered by Elbow, Jose Gonzalez, and others, Massive Attack member Mushroom had wanted to offer the track to an even more unlikely singer, Madonna, only to be voted down by his bandmates. The album opening Angel, which would become a Massive Attack live staple, is both an improbable mix of styles and one of the most rock and roll moments in the band's entire catalog, thanks to a wall of guitars that explodes into a cathartic blast after 2.5 minutes of creeping tension. But rather than following a predictable course, Massive Attack also combines this guitar fury with vocals from reggae legend Horace Andy, his vibrato-laden croon helping the song transcend its inherent rock melodrama to create a place of tenderness and vulnerability. Andy returns later on the album for a cover of John Holt's Man Next Door, again pairing Andy's vocals with rock and roll overload, this time with a sample of electric guitar from The Cure and gonzo drum bashes from Elsewhere.
There's a man that lives next door in my neighborhood.
Inertia Creeps, Mezzanine's 4th song and 4th single, was partly inspired by the rhythms of Greek and Turkish belly dancing music, which band member Robert 3D Del Naha encountered on a trip to Istanbul. But in a perfectly Massive Attack move, the grooves came paired with an itching synth riff, plus fuzzy guitar and furiously shaken tambourine. It is telling that both Asian underground producer State of Bengal and Welsh rock act the Manic Street Preachers were brought in to remix Inertia Creeps for its single release, the original song sitting somewhere in between the former's globe-trotting beats and the latter's dark punk energy, and yet all squarely within the Mezzanine sound. Mezzanine would prove to be both the making and the undoing of Massive Attack, cementing their place in history as it tore them apart. Mushroom left soon after the album was released, and the group's next full-length, the critically panned 100th Window, was largely the work of 3D and producer Neil Davidge, who would become an integral part of the group's recording while making Mezzanine. Though Massive Attack never again returned to the commercial saturation of Mezzanine, the album became an integral part of their legend, charting at #1 in the UK, cracking the top 100 in the US, selling well over 2 million copies worldwide, and still forming the core of their live show 2 decades after its release. Though the soulful molasses slow beats of Blue Lines had influenced earlier trip-hop acts like More Chiba, Mezzanine would break them through to a more mainstream audience, leading to covers by groups as divergent as Sepultura and Simple Minds. Audible in newer acts like the XX and The Weeknd, or anywhere hip-hop crosses into brooding melancholy, Mezzanine was a contrarian masterpiece that still sounds like the discovery of a new kind of darkness.